All right, today we're going to talk about risk. All right, intro. Just kidding, I don't have an intro yet for this, but I know everyone's got their intro going and I got you. But anyway, if I got you a little bit, if I tricked you, just watch this video. It's only a couple minutes long. This is about risk today, okay? Risk is tricky because a lot of people, and I'm going to drop a Jordan Peterson quote down below. I don't have it word for word. I don't want to butcher it, but check that quote down below. And if it affected you, if it spoke to you, shoot a comment below. But there's a Jordan Peterson quote that talks about risk. And to summarize, he basically says you have to pick and choose your risk. There's risk everywhere. No matter what you do, there's going to be risk. Let's say you're in a job that you hate, okay? Now, to, let's say, quit that job and go do something on your own, that's a risk, right? That's a huge risk because you're giving up secure income. You're giving up income, security, because in order to do something, right? But no one talks about the flip side of that. What's the flip side of choosing the risk of not doing that? Because that's also a risk. And that risk, that can lead to unhappiness, that can lead to depression, that can lead to like a meaningless life. That's a huge risk to me. To me, that's the way bigger risk than making the short-term risk of maybe a little bit discomfort, lack of security. Because a job is not security, okay? You know, people with government jobs, the government shuts down. What happens then? You don't get paid for weeks or months? I mean, look at the TSA in America, right? Or just any other job, right? You can be laid off at any moment. I've had multiple family members get laid off from their job for absolutely no reason. They're good employees. They're one of the best at what they do. The problem is they get paid well for that, and a lot of the time, sometimes the companies have to trim the fat, and you're the fat that they trim, and that's a risk. That's a risk to stay as that fat that you have, that you may be trimmed from a company. That's a huge risk. But I mean, I took this risk a couple months ago, right? It's a huge risk. You know, I had a government job. I was making an okay salary based on salary terms, right? An average, probably, American salary, right? And it was safe, right? But it's tricky because, yeah, maybe it was safer than what I did, but on the surface, and maybe it was less of a risk from what I ended up doing on the surface. But the problem is, people don't look past the surface, right? What happens if you do something that you know you need to do, and let's say that's quit your job and start your own thing, or start your own thing first, and then once you're making money with it, then you quit your job? What happens then? That's a risk, because you're responsible now for your money. You're not showing up and getting a paycheck every couple of weeks from your boss. But that's a risk too, because your boss can fire you at any point. So you got to ask yourself, what's the bigger risk, okay? The quote that changed my life is, the definition of hell is when you get to the end of your life, you meet the person that you could have become if you had done the things and taken the risk that you know you should have taken. And when I heard that quote, I vowed I would never meet that person. And that's a huge why for me. Like, I'm getting speechless just thinking about it. Like, think about laying on your deathbed with all your family and your friends around you, and you know, as you're taking your dying breaths, you meet the person. And my leg is shaking right now because I like, it's an overwhelming thing. You meet the person that you could have become, but you didn't become that person. You stayed in your job. And listen, if you love your job, great. This isn't for you. But you know, you could have become that person, but you didn't, because you stayed in your job. You didn't take the risks. You didn't go find a mentor. You didn't put yourself out there. You weren't honest and say, listen, you didn't ask for help. You didn't ask that girl out. You didn't ask that guy out. I mean, a lot of people say this with relationships. But what happens on your deathbed if you're single and you never got with anybody? And if you're against marriage, that's fine. But let's say you want marriage, or you want a partner in life, or you just want to have physical relationships, but you never did. Whatever you desire, that partnership, that emotional connection, and you never got that, and all you can think about is the time you saw that girl or you saw that guy, and you wanted to ask him to go get coffee, or ask her to go get coffee, or you wanted to ask her out to dinner, or you wanted to ask him to out to lunch or something, and you feel that regret because you see what your life could have been with that person if you had done that. A lot of people can relate with that, but a lot of people don't take this past love. Because this is life, right? There's more than just relationships. That's a huge thing. But you gotta put that in other aspects of life, right? It's a risk going up to a girl and asking her out because she may slap you in the face and call you gross. But it's a bigger risk to not do it. And then maybe that person could have been your wife or become your life partner, right? Or what happens if, but then you got to push that into your business, right? You got to push that into everything. Let's say the business you've always wanted to start. Let's say you've always wanted to travel the world, but you didn't do it because you didn't want to quit your job and give up that income. Maybe you went to college and you're like, "What? I worked 4 years for this. This is the dream." But guess what? If it's the American dream, maybe it's not your dream. And to allow that to just sit there and just boil and fester is a damn shame. Because a lot of people can relate when you talk about relationships. When you talk about other aspects of life, not doing those things is just as big of a risk, if not a way bigger risk, and arguably proven to be a much bigger risk. Because you can always make the money back if you lose it. But can you get your time back? You're risking your time if you don't take action on the shit that you know you need to do now. The stuff that you know you need to do right now. You're risking all your time. Just for security? You know what happens? You retire at 62? Because you sat at a desk your whole life? You're not as healthy as you could have been? You're not as emotionally positive as you could have been because you're around an office? Right? We need to break free of these things and realize that not taking action is a much bigger risk than taking action. And guys, I could go on this for 45 minutes more, but below, just comment something. Comment something if this spoke to you. Because when I heard that quote years ago, not years, about a year and a half ago, a year and a few months ago, April of 2018, it changed the course of my life. And I wasn't successful immediately. And by many means, I'm still not. I'm still working, right? But I took a risk, right? I quit my job, took a one-way ticket out to Bali with my beautiful girlfriend, and it was the most amazing experience of our life, and we're going to keep having those amazing experiences because we took that risk. Guys, if you like this video, like it, subscribe, comment below. Let me know. The comment of the day, if you watched all the way to the end of this video, is going to be risk with like 11 eyes. Okay? All caps. 11 eyes. Count them out. Comment below the video. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. If you like it, please shoot me a comment and ask me a question and tell me some risk that you've taken that has helped you out in your life. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time.